William Wycherley once wrote, "Hunger, revenge, to sleep are petty foes, but only death the jealous eyes can close." There are so many movies about this topic: an affair, jealousy, and obsession. But when does a harmless affair... Okay, affairs can never really be harmless, but when does an affair really cross the line? The stalking, manipulation, the lies, all so that an adulterer can have the upper hand and avoid rejection. Tonight we see how one woman can weave quite the tangled web. It was very weird to not be on our normal schedule. It's like, wow, what do we do with the rest of our Sunday?
I know, it was stressful. We almost didn't get to the airport on time today.
Oh boy.
Well, you can blame the Bishop of Fall River for that because we were having a mass.
The Bishop of Fall River?
Yes.
It sounds like a horror movie. What the fuck is that?
So they're at my parish in New Bedford. They are merging with 2 other parishes, and they're renaming our parish.
So it's like now going to be a mega church?
Not a mega church. It's just going to be the 3 churches that were separate are now going to be one. So I was in St. Mary's Parish, and now they're calling the 3 parish initiative, whatever, that is going to be meeting at my church. So we have the building, but they're renaming it St. Gabriel's. So today the bishop said mass because it was the last mass as St. Mary's, and the change takes effect at midnight going forward.
So there were a lot more people at mass than normal because the bishop was there?
No, it wasn't full. But the bishop, during his homily, it was a very long homily, and then because the bishop was there were like other things that they have to do. Then there was a ceremony where they each parish is bringing because we are still there, but like things from their parish. So one parish brought a crucifix, the other one brought a crown that the other parishes are St. Joseph, St. Therese, and then Our Lady of Fatima. So they had the crown that the Lady of Fatima wore, or a replica of the crown that she appeared in. And so they did this whole presentation of that. And so it was a 10:30 mass, and normally masses are 45 minutes, but it was already 11:35, and I was like, we need to go. It takes an hour to get to the airport. My flight leaves at 2:15. So,
Oof.
Yeah. But I made it. Here I am.
Good to have you back.
I'm glad to be back.
So we do have a new Supremo this week. Actually, we may have had another new taco. Hang on.
Y'all need to get on live chat, yo.
I know. Well, we know Matt's now a Supremo.
Thanks,
Megan
Matt.
just joined us. And I think we have one more. Darren, shout out to you. You have upped yours to be an official Supremo now.
Yay. Thanks, Darren.
Darren, what? Nice.
I know.
Man.
He's
you don't
up
even.
to
Yeah,
tier.
you're the official, unofficial. Was it Instagram
Page manager.
Yeah, he hosts
Our Facebook.
our Instagram
page?
That's an unofficial
Fan page.
Unofficial fan page.
So this one's for Megan,
Woo!
Megan.
our newest.
How does
joiner.
Megan spell? There's so many different ways to spell Megan.
With an H, not with an EA. Just like
Oh,
normal
cool. So
Megan.
MEH.
No, MEGHAN.
Oh,
The most common way, perhaps.
Really? I thought that Megan without the H is more common.
Really?
I could be wrong. I don't know.
I don't know. It's like when people think most Nicoles have an H in it. Like,
Really?
what? No, do not put an H in my name.
do most people call her Megan? Can
I
you
don't
hear me?
know. Megan, can you answer that? Do you go by Meg, Meggie?
Yeah, we'll wait. I get an email on Wednesday.
Surprise shots. Surprise shots. We don't know what they are because they're a surprise.
Please be coffee. Something.
I mean, it's got to be Bailey's and something.
This is in honor of my trip to New Hampshire.
Cheers. Bailey's and butterscotch?
No, it's the maple pecan.
Oh,
my
I
God.
forgot we still had that.
That shit doesn't even taste like alcohol. I could drink that shit in the morning.
They gave at the wedding that I went to. They gave out little.
Little maple syrups? Mm-hmm. How cute.
Yeah, but it was 5 ounces, so I didn't take it with me. Mom's gonna ship me a few things. So.
Oh, well.
Tonight we're going to the Maury Studios. Are around
God.
there.
Stanford?
Yeah, Jen.
That's where Jen went to school, right around the
Oh,
corner.
really?
Yeah, in Hamden, which is like about.
Did you go to
35
see
minutes away.
Maury?
I didn't. I think I was supposed to go one time, and then something happened, and I just didn't go.
I went once. I mean, they flew me out there free. I was
You were a guest
Special
on the
guest?
show.
yeah, I was something about DNA
Were
test.
you the father?
You are not the father. Watch him! Watch him! Watch him! I told 1,000 times I want the father. Come on, look at the baby! Look at the baby! Only thing we got is the hair. Man. Stop it. What else here?
Inconclusive data.
Oh shit! I used to watch that every morning.
Never watched
it was
it.
Jerry, and then Maury, and then Steve Wilkos, and then
actually
everyone
started
loves
up-
Raymond.
Yes, on CBS.
I loved Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah. So that was my childhood. So all right, tonight we are going to Stamford, Connecticut, March 23rd, 2003. We're talking about a sex game
Oh.
called What's That in My Hand?
Oh, God.
Oh.
Well, that doesn't sound that much fun, honestly.
I feel like there's really only one answer to that.
It's
if we're
the
talking about a
guessing
sex
game. The guessing game. It's a sex game. You play it when you're having sex. You say, you take some handcuffs, you handcuff your partner to a chair, then you take a blindfold, you put a blindfold on him or her, then you hold something to their skin and they try to guess what it is. So it could be anything like a carrot or a pickle or what do you call them? Long
Ruler.
A yardstick?
So I don't know. Has anybody ever played that game?
No.
No.
All right. Well,
Speaking of games, though, have you guys
I'll go
seen-
first. We're playing it right now.
No, I'm good. Have you guys started watching Squid Game?
No, I haven't
saw
heard
that
it.
shit. Looks dumb. What is it?
It's, I guess, it's Korean, I think. Either Korean or Japanese. And
Oh, we're gonna have a listener that's super pissed that you just said that. Mr. Sami Song. He's gonna
I
be
don't-
like, it's either Korean or Japanese. Oh, so we all look alike. That's what he's gonna say.
no, I thought that I read that it took place in Japan, but my sister's boyfriend said that it was Korean, so I don't know. I don't know.
But it's like a show that's on
It's a-
air right now, or is
It's
it
on
one of
It's on
those?
Netflix.
Netflix. It's like a game show, right?
No.
Oh, I thought it was a game show.
No, it's about like.
Lee says it is Korean.
All right, thank you, Lee.
Dude, I thought Parasite was Chinese.
I thought it was, too.
literally need to go. We need to go and figure that out because I don't know why I thought that was a Chinese movie.
I did too.
Did you?
Yes. I was like adamant that it was a Chinese movie.
Yeah, I know. And
Because
then I
I
was
think
too.
I corrected it.
Anyway, tell us about Squidward.
Anywai.
Anyway, it's all in Korean. You have subtitles, but it's essentially that I only watched a little bit of the first episode, but you have people that are like in need of money, and some guy like walks up to them and is like, "You want to play a game?" And they go to play these games, but they don't tell you that if you lose the game, you die.
Oh, I thought it was a game show.
No, it's a series about like.
well, they make
people-
it look like a game show when you first log into Netflix.
Oh.
To me, at least.
Oh, they're both dubbed.
Oh,
Okay.
they're dubbed, so I can listen to it in English instead of reading the subtitles. Then okay.
The what's
That's
that one Wipeout? I think is.
Oh, that's an actual game show. That looks like fun.
Dude, what? Some of the Japanese
my
games
face
are
is so
fucking
puzzled
weird.
because I don't know what
Some
you're
of the
talking about.
Japanese games are so
It's a,
weird.
it's a big part of their like culture, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Like,
one of 'em-
game shows are huge.
But they have some weird
Do you remember
sexual
MX
games.
Live?
Yes.
MXC Live or MXC I don't remember what it was called. It was on Spike
No.
TV, and it was like a an Asian game show, but they dubbed it in English, and they're like making fun of all of they're like making like funny commentary over it. Like, so it's supposed to.
Oh God.
And it's like a Wipeout. It's like Wipeout, essentially. They have all these challenges, but it's like two Americans that are like commenting on it. It's old. It's an old
That's
show.
funny. No.
It was funny.
Welcome to Talk Murder to Me. My name is John. I'm sitting here with Jen and Nicole. I put all my sources, photos, and videos on talkmurder.com. You can go there. This is episode 267. And we are also on live chat for you Supremos, so you guys can tell me if you've heard of this case. Sheila Davallo, Davalloo, Davalloo, Davalloo.
I have not.
She has been interviewed by the very intelligent Pierce Morgan. Oh, I hate that fucking guy. If there ever was a bigger tool than me.
Why do you hate Pierce Morgan so much? I never
fucking
realized
hate him. And why is he interviewing killers? He has no,
I had no idea that you had such a distaste for Pierce Morgan.
I fucking hate
I feel
that
like
guy.
that's so
hate everything about
random.
that guy. Hate him. I hate him. Anyway. So, March 23rd, 2003, we're talking about a sex game. We are going to Stamford, Connecticut. This is a guessing game. I blindfold you, and you sit on a chair handcuffed, and then I rub something hard on you, and you tell me what it is.
I just want to interject and say I will never voluntarily participate in a game that starts with you blindfolding me.
And handcuffing you to a chair.
Well, you said it starts with you blindfolding me, so I wouldn't be able to tell you were handcuffing me to a chair.
Well, no. So it's a husband wife type of game,
right? Which is another.
This isn't
reason
like
why
a
we
party
wouldn't be
game.
playing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, but I'm just saying.
Not that kind of party.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I don't care what kind of game it is. If it involves you blindfolding me, I will not be participating.
Well, I guess it could be part of family game night.
Not that kind of family.
West Virginia. Never mind.
The good kind of incest.
I gotta stop making fun of West Virginia. The game started March 23rd, 2003. This is husband and wife. They're sitting there. They're trying to bring more intimacy back into their relationship. Their relationship's been on the decline. Both husband and wife, yeah, they did fall in love at one point, but they're both extremely busy with their professional careers, and eventually that turns into them both being busy with their private lives as well. So this is like the last ditch effort to bring in some sort of spark or some sort of fun into the relationship. So what do you guys think happens when we start the story with a sex game?
Well,
and I'm probably the only podcaster in the world that wants to start it with a sex game.
Well, someone dies, clearly. I'm wondering if they died during sexy time or...
All right, husband and wife. Wife, Sheila Davallo. Husband, Paul Christos. And if you want to read this. So the wife goes first. The husband, I think it was like a spatula or something. And he rubbed it on her nipple and it got stuck and he's like pulling it off.
Ow!
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It was a slatted spatula. Ow.
Or like a carrot grater. He's like grating her nipple.
oh my God, that's terrible.
Jesus.
I mean, that brings a whole new light to nipple play.
Something very simple.
My boobs.
Anyway, so after that boring thing, whatever he put on her, on his wife, then this is what happened. Now, everything Nicole's going to be reading tonight is from the actual police report, word for word. So
Okay.
if you want to read this.
Can you imagine being the police officer taking these depositions? Then it was Christos's turn. He lay on the floor, blindfolded and handcuffed to a chair. Christos guessed various common household items. The defendant then went to the kitchen to retrieve one last item, one more thing to guess. She sat on Christos' midsection and touched the item to his face. Christos guessed the item was a candle. The item was a knife.
Whoa.
So this could go wrong. How do you guess a candle when the fucking thing's a knife?
I'm thinking maybe she
Had the
didn't.
handle.
Yeah, it
A
was the
candle is
handle.
hot, though.
Not if it's not lit.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
yeah,
could have been
it
a
didn't have to be
candlestick,
lit.
and
Yeah.
she could have used the non-blade part.
So it was definitely not a candle. It was a knife. Now, what do you think she does with that knife?
Stabs him.
As soon as the husband guesses a candle, she doesn't even say, nope, that's wrong. Guess again. She takes the knife, she brings it back and thrusts it right into his chest. Ooh. Now, she's going to do this twice. She thrusts the knife into his chest and she says, quote, and this is the exact word she said, "Oh my God, I think I hurt you. You're bleeding," end quote. So obviously the wife doesn't love the husband anymore. You guys get it. She's going to try to kill the guy. Yeah. So she thrusts a knife in there. Then she does it again. So twice right there. And now he is handcuffed to the chair. There's and I have a photo of the chair I'll put on talkmore.com, but it's a table chair, like a dinner table chair, just a wooden regular chair. And it's handcuffed to the back of the chair. Now, this guy, Paul Christos, is still alive at this point. He is blindfolded and handcuffed, and he is talking barely, and he says, "Get the handcuff keys, get the handcuff keys," because he doesn't know what's going on. At this point, he thinks it may be still a candle, because his wife even says, quote, "Something fell on you. I think the candle hurt you," end quote. That's what he's...
And she's still saying it's a candle. Weird.
Yeah, and he's like fucking spurting blood everywhere. "Something fell on you. I think the candle hurt you." And he's like, "Grat, grat, grat," spurting out blood all over the place. He's losing consciousness at this point. He is begging her to find the handcuff keys. So she gets the handcuff keys and lets them go, right? No, she lost the keys. Okay, she lost the handcuff keys.
Like between the 3 minutes that it took to...
Where did she lose them? Did she throw them out the window, lose them? Or
Did she swallow them?
Well, think about this right now. She is killing her husband, and she is going to try the defense of it was a sex game gone wrong. That is what she is thinking would work.
May I ask, was this the first time that they were trying something super kinky like this?
Yeah, it was. She actually told him about it the night before.
Okay, so she introduced
He didn't want to do it. You'll see the guy. He didn't want to do it.
Okay, so
Fuck, I wouldn't want to do it either.
she hit them in her butt. Yes.
All right. So she could not find the handcuff keys at all. So he's like,
Spurting blood at this point.
oh, he's
Everywhere.
Yeah, he's pretty much dead. So not dead, but
Near death.
near death. He says, "Call 911." So she goes in the other room and she is talking to somebody, or at least she's making it seem like she's calling 911. But 20 minutes, 30 minutes go by and an ambulance still has not arrived yet. He is now demanding to get out of the chair. He tells her to break the chair. She breaks it. He's like, "Where's the ambulance? I'm literally dying. I'm losing my blood. I'm tired of holding a sponge to my chest to soak up the blood."
She never called?
No, she never called. But she did. He did say, "Let me talk to him. Let me talk," because he could hear her on the phone, or at least pretending to be. She actually told him, "The operator doesn't want to talk to you."
Oh my God.
She just.
Well, that would be the worst 911 operator in history.
I have the victim right here. Like, do you want to talk to him? No.
No.
Just no.
If you want to read this.
The defendant told Christos that the operator did not want to talk to him, but rather wanted him to lie on the floor. The defendant at this point instead telephoned her secret boyfriend and invited him over to the condominium for dinner. Well, hey babe, you want to come over? I'm making lasagna. Don't mind the blood on the floor.
So here's her thinking right now. She is going to murder her husband. The cops, all right, just put yourself in this crazy fucking mental state. I'm going to murder my husband. Tell the cops I'm playing a sex game that went wrong, and I stabbed him in the chest until he bled out. They're going to buy it because by 8:30 tonight, which is only in a few hours, I'm going to be having dinner at my place with my boyfriend. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Okay.
Totally feasible.
Even if because the boyfriend apparently didn't know about it. We'll get to that. But even if the cops did believe off the bat that it was a sex game gone wrong, the fact that she'll be available for dinner at her condo, the same place that he died, within a few hours is comical. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, oh, the crime scene's going to be cleaned up. All the blood's going to be cleaned up. And we're going to have a nice lasagna dinner.
I just find it odd that she would think this would work.
Yeah.
You know? And also, she still didn't kill the husband. He's still alive at this point.
He is,
and she's just like, come on, dude. Get your blood out, man.
He is still alive. She had used a 4-inch paring knife. What's a paring knife?
It's like
It's a little.
I mean, I've got a picture of it, but
little sharp blade. We do have one in the butcher block.
He was stabbed twice in the chest. He actually begs at this point. He's begging his wife while he's on the floor, bleeding out with 2 stab wounds in the chest. He's begging his wife to drive him to the hospital because apparently the ambulance, they're not going to come. For whatever reason.
They're stuck in traffic.
They're stuck in traffic or whatever. So eventually she agrees. Now, this is after she calls her boyfriend and everything. The boyfriend doesn't know. The boyfriend doesn't even know she's married.
Oh.
Which we're going to get to.
So she's lying to the boyfriend, too.
Yeah. All right. So she's like...
So he may not have known then that she was going to kill her husband.
She had no idea.
Or the boyfriend. He had no idea. The boyfriend had no idea that because he didn't even know that she was married.
He's begging now to go to the hospital, and she finally agrees. She finally agrees, but she drives really slow to get there. Super slow, like taking all the wrong turns. Oops, I didn't mean to get off on 25. I meant to get off on 26 or whatever. You know, now I got to do everything over and go back home and start again because that's how I like to do. That's how I would do it. Anyway, just taking her time to get there, and he is dying in the back seat. She finally pulls up to the behavioral health center at Westchester Medical Center in Valhalla, New York. They get to the behavioral health hospital in New York.
And they're probably like, what are you doing here?
Well, here's the thing. She didn't pull up to the door. I mean, obviously, you guys understand.
Oh my God,
she's trying to
just dump him out?
All right, let's go. Let's walk. Let's walk to the car.
She pulls up around back. You know, if you go to, you know how you go to any hospital and you can go in the back, but like way back, you know, because the parking lots are so vast.
Right.
You go way back there and it's like real dark and you can buy some good meth back there kind of shit. That's where she goes. Way back there, there's like one little blinking street light. It is completely dark, and there's...
So she's just doing this to continue to buy herself time for him to bleed out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. She's like, damn, he's not dead yet, huh?
All right, so now the doctors and the nurses don't even hear her because she is in the back parking lot. Way back there. There's other parking spots. Even if she wanted to park, she could park. But obviously, you would just take your dying husband to the front gate, you know, to the front door. But she parks way in the back. And if you want to read this.
The defendant got out of the car and opened the rear driver's side door. Christos thought the defendant was going to help him out of the car until he saw an angry expression on her face and saw her lunge at him with a knife.
Oh, man.
So now at the hospital... In the very back of the hospital, there's no other cars there. There's no staff walking because it's in the back. She opens the back door and he sees her own wife. He sees his own wife lunge at her with the knife, and she successfully stabs him again with the knife.
This one's going to be harder to tell the police about, like why there was a second stab wound so much later after.
So at this point, he knows that his wife is going to kill him, and this wasn't a candle that fell on him. She stabbed him with a 4-inch paring knife.
Very sharp candle.
She stabs him again, and he actually has the gusto and the strength and the fortitude to live. He actually gets out of the car, the backseat of the car, and wrestles with his own wife. So now, in the back of the hospital, in the shady part, they're in this grassy section, with the pavement and there's little grass. Yeah. They're in there wrestling with a knife, and he is bleeding all over the place. He gets away from his wife and he runs towards the front of the hospital. He is 200 yards away from the door. That's how far she parked.
I mean, a paring knife is not a very big knife.
No.
It's usually short.
That's what I'm saying. That's why she should have used a bigger knife, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I would have used a bigger knife.
Yeah. If she was going to try to do some damage there.
It was more, I think it was more of a, the cops will buy it more if I use a small knife and maybe nick an artery or something.
Yeah, but she didn't nick it. Like, she stabbed him and she didn't hit anything major.
Well, their relationship was on the rocks.
And clearly, this is going to sound bad. She knew what she was doing.
Look at this guy. This guy has the face of, I have a lot to think about in this life.
Oh, poor guy. I mean, he looks like a nice dude.
Yeah.
Look at his face. He's like,
well, he's in the hospital. He's probably on drugs.
He's like, what the fuck? It's like, holy shit. He's not a bad looking dude.
No, not at all. Very attractive man.
I will say real quick that when he frees himself and he runs to the front door screaming, she is saying this because he lived through this. And so he tells the police, and in fact, he testifies against his own wife. She says, quote, "Stay with me, talk to me." While they're wrestling, he tries to get away, and she is getting him, "Stay with me, please talk to me, don't leave."
Prosecutors said Davalloo took Christos to the Westchester Medical Center in Valhalla only after he begged her. When she parked near the hospital, she took the knife and stabbed him a third time. Christos, 37, was saved by open heart surgery and is recovering.
She had a non-jury trial, second-degree attempted murder for the murder of her husband, first-degree assault, fourth-degree criminal possession of a weapon. The assistant DA argued in trial that the stabbing wasn't only intentional, it was premeditated. That Davalloo wanted Christos dead because she was obsessed with her lover and coworker, Nelson Sessler. That's the guy that she called at her home, or the couple's home, after she stabbed her own husband. She calls her secret boyfriend Nelson Sessler. And Nelson doesn't know what's going on. He is planning to get there. In fact, he actually shows up to the condo and there's police everywhere. And since it's a condominium, there's multiple units. He doesn't think it's, for Sheila. And now he's all like, whoa, what's going on? Quote, Davalloo and her lawyer claimed she never meant to harm Christos and that she was confused when she stabbed him out of frustration and didn't realize what she was doing. End quote. So that guy is like, what the fuck? This is her right here. Now, this is the picture here. I'll put all these photos on talkmore.com. This is Sheila Davallo and her secret boyfriend.
He kind of looks like the husband.
No, that's not the husband. That's the secret boyfriend.
I know.
I know they do look alike. I see it.
They all work together. And this is on a vacation. Now, here's the thing.
They were taking vacations together?
They were taking vacations together.
Oh.
Now, the husband and the wife were living together. And I'll get into this, but this story is you wouldn't call it a love triangle. It's more of There's a lot of people.
Is this a love rhombus?
No,
I was going to say rhombus.
No, because because Sheila is the only one that knows about the other 3 people involved.
Oh.
So now he is dating other people too, but she is actively having affairs and lying about it. So for instance, her boyfriend right there, Nelson Sessler, her boyfriend, Nelson Sessler, does not even know she's married. Nelson Sessler comes to the condo that she shares with her husband and spends weeks at a time. How do you think you would get away with that without your husband knowing?
He travels a lot for work.
No. They actually work in the same office. They're both scientists.
What?
This reminds me of the Raleigh story about the scientists.
Does he work overnight? Like a sleep study person?
No, this guy, her secret boyfriend will spend weeks at a time at her place, move his stuff in, everything, his weights, his gym weights, his toothbrush, his whatever, move everything in.
Do they rent the room to him?
No, they don't rent the room. That's a good guess. This is what she does. This will tell you exactly her personality right here. Did you bring me a beer? Thank you.
I did.
She tells her husband, they've been married for several years. She tells him that her mentally challenged brother, which she does have one, okay, and he was in a group home at the time. She tells her own husband that he wants to come spend a few weeks with her, but he's very, very peculiar with some of his wants and needs, and he doesn't want to see, like, for instance, any pictures of her and her husband laying around. And he's actually got to move out because the brother needs to know that it's just him and his sister and stuff like that.
She is saying that her lover is her brother.
No, that's not what I meant. She's telling her husband that her mentally challenged brother is
moving in,
and he is, since he is,
but the mentally challenged brother is this person.
No, dude, listen to me. Listen. She tells her husband that he's got to pack up and leave for several weeks because Sheila Davallo's mentally, and they use, even in the police report, they use the word retarded. So that'll give you exactly where his, brain is or whatever. That his mentally challenged brain cannot accept other people being there. He's antisocial. He doesn't dude, I can't explain how she told the husband,
right.
And but
it was enough to get him out of the house.
It's even stuff like she doesn't want him, the brother, to see pictures of, another person because he will get anxiety or whatever. Whatever she tells him, I don't know exactly how she does it, but he believes it and he moves out. On multiple occasions, he moves out, moves all of his stuff. And she makes it seem like the brother, the mentally challenged brother, cannot stand it if any of his stuff, I'm talking about clothes, all your personal belongings, pictures of you and her, out of the house, everything cleaned out. Because what's the alternative here? The secret boyfriend who doesn't know she's married comes and lives with her for a couple weeks and then sees pictures of the husband, like on the frame on the wall. That's what I'm saying. That's the alternative here.
It almost feels like it would have been easier for her to say that she has to go stay with her brother, for her to go with live with the boyfriend.
Well, the secret boyfriend has 3 other roommates. So
crazy.
But still,
I don't know. Did I not explain that right?
No, you did. It makes sense. I mean,
the mentally challenged brother, the mentally handicapped brother, it was an excuse. She really does have one, so he did believe it.
Oh, okay.
Did you just now get it?
I didn't know.
I got it.
I thought she was making up that her brother.
No, she really has one, but he wasn't coming to stay.
Gotcha.
She just wanted.
I thought
her
she was
husband
making
out.
up a fictitious person and the fictitious person was the boyfriend.
Let me just reiterate real quick, because this gets really confusing. There's a lot of people in this fucking case. Sheila Davallo is the killer, and the husband is not who she kills. She kills another person.
Oh.
But we got to get this out of the way first. She is having an affair with this guy who's also working with all of them. Now, they're not working side by side. They work at Purdue Pharma, which is a huge company. So I don't know how many people, 1,000 maybe. So the chances of them working together, and they all work different things. Like she works medical thesaurus work, where I guess you come up with this big ass, long ass fucking names of drugs or whatever she does.
Interesting.
And he works in chemical research or something like that. So they don't actually see each other. But she tells her husband that also works at Purdue Pharma to move out all of her stuff so that her brother, who is mentally challenged, can come in and stay with him. But it's a ruse to have her boyfriend, who doesn't know she's married, to come stay with her for several weeks. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
All right, so this is Nelson Sessler right here. And if you want to describe him for the podcasters.
Tall, brown hair, scruffy beard.
I don't know. He's just like average.
So they're vacationing together, taking photos. He doesn't really look like, I mean, yeah, his arm is around her. The photo we're looking at right now is they're in maybe Stanford or somewhere. They're on vacation, so probably away from their, hometown. She would say that, oh, I got to go on a research trip or whatever. And they're in some city, there's snow on the ground, and she is really into him. You can tell she's leaning in.
Yeah.
He's kind of not sure about it.
More standoffish.
Yeah. Not a bad looking dude. Looks just like the actual husband, but apparently he doesn't know that she's married. So he arrives at her house the night that she stabs her husband, and he's wanting some food. He's like, what's on the grill? Like, what are you cooking? Lasagna, whatever. Let's eat. He finds a bunch of cops there. He goes up to the condo and they're like, who are you? And he's like, I'm here to see Sheila, my girlfriend. And then the boyfriend says, to the cops, are you here about the murder?
Oh, shit.
The cops believe he's talking about the attempted murder of the husband.
Uh-huh.
But this is a fucking confusing case, and I'm sorry. The secret boyfriend is actually talking about the murder a few months back of his girlfriend.
Oh.
He subconsciously, or maybe just it clicked just then, instantly knew that the cops were at Sheila's house because, she had to be the one to murder my girlfriend 3 months back. Oh. So he says, are you here about the murder? The cops are like, what the fuck? What murder? No one's dead. We're here responding to this domestic sex
But also
game.
under suspicion that she had told him the plans, maybe.
So he's like, no, my girlfriend got murdered 3 months ago. Did Sheila do it? So they're like, we have no idea what you're talking about, because the murder that I'm about to go into now happened in a different district, a different city. Oh. So, cops don't talk to each other, whatever. They had no idea, but it was only 3 months. So the case was very well active and very well ongoing. So the background on Nelson Sessler, he was hired in 2000 by Purdue Pharma. He actually works in medication development for pain, so pain management medications. He has a doctorate in pharmacy from Massachusetts College of Pharmacy and Health Sciences. He meets Sheila at a happy hour for Purdue Pharma. However, around that same time period, he meets another girl too, and that's the girl that's going to get murdered. Her name is Anna Lisa. So Anna Lisa, they meet at a happy hour. And this is December 2000. They start living together. Okay. And things got real serious in November 2002. This is right before the murder. So as you see this photo here, he is not really feeling Sheila anymore. And a quick thing about Sheila, she hates rejection. She freaking hates it. No one can reject her. By November 2002, he was completely done with Sheila, bored, and he wanted to just be with his new girlfriend, long-term girlfriend. And he had no idea that she was actually married. So he starts pursuing her, and they actually move in together. So now you got, how many people we got so far? We got the killer, Sheila Davallo, the one that stabbed her husband. The husband, which I won't talk about anymore. The only time he comes up from now in the story is when Sheila, the wife, has to cross-examine the husband because she, for some reason, wants to defend herself. I don't know.
Oh, boy.
Maybe it looks like she's not guilty that way. But, so you got those two, the husband and wife. You got a Nelson Sessler, which is the secret boyfriend. And then you got his girlfriend,
Who's dead?
Anna Lisa Raymundo, who is the main victim, the one that died.
Got it.
So, now a little bit about her before we go on. This is about Anna Lisa Raymundo. Her father says, quote, "She was a very thoughtful daughter. She was the perfect daughter, an excellent human being," end quote. She was smart. She had her bachelor's from Harvard.
Wow.
Master's from Columbia University in public health. And she's been working at Purdue for several years now. She was also very close with her parents. And this is how the parents knew something was wrong, because she would call her mother twice a day. Shit, I got to call my mom. It's been like a week and a half. Fuck. I got to do that. Now, Nelson lives with 3 other dudes.
Right.
He's a bachelor.
Right.
He's 35, which that's, I'm 35, so I get it. And he's making good money. He's working at Purdue.
I mean, pharmacists make bank, so.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't think he's like a research thing. I don't know how much
sure
he
he's
I'm
still
sure
doing very well.
Well, you said he had his Farm D, so.
Yeah. So I'm sure he's making good. He's probably just living with 3 dudes because he kind of just looks like just
A bro.
a bro. Yeah, like I would fucking have a beer with him. He looks cool,
Yeah.
But she is. But that's the thing. Like I would say, if she's looking for something long term, she's got a fucking husband.
Right.
That's very true.
But
She is in a committed relationship.
Literally, marriage is the definition of a long-term relationship.
It's literally until death do you part. So,
But she does not like rejection, which we're going to talk about here in a second.
and she is the one pursuing these relationships. Like it's not like
well, it's
the
basically
men
this
are
one
coming
guy,
to her.
Nelson from The Simpsons. Yeah.
No, yeah, that's him.
So, but this is the girlfriend. So she's got to get the girlfriend out the way. Now, this is 3 months before she stabs her own husband playing the sex game.
So Anna Lisa. So
Yeah, Anna Lisa Raymundo.
So
that's her.
Anna Lisa and
They're both, Sheila Davallo. They're both immigrants.
but they were dating long before. They were dating for a long time.
Who?
Neil and Annalisa. She's asking how long they were together.
Nelson?
Yes,
Nelson.
Nelson.
No, they were just dating. They just started dating in 2002.
Okay, so it wasn't-
and he's dating other girls too, but then he decides, I really like this girl. We're going to move in. So that's when he gets serious. I don't know if he's cheating on her or not, but
Okay. I'm with you now.
Yeah, exactly. So, but he's not. This is confusing.
Nope.
Anyway, who you're looking at now, and I'll put all these photos on talkmore.com. There's a lot of similarities between her and Sheila. She's 32 years old, and she's from the Philippines. She is an immigrant as well. She is, quote, beautiful dark, shiny skin, eyes to match, cheerful demeanor, and smile so large it was hard not to like the woman and feel her magnetic charm the moment she was introduced.
Yeah, her
End quote.
Her smile looks very contagious just from these pictures.
Very beautiful woman. So, and she is more of his age, and she's also not married.
And like not gonna murder somebody, but
Yeah.
hindsight's 2020.
I would kind of hope that if you had any inclination that your potential love interest would murder someone, that you would just
Stay away.
Yeah.
She is the victim here tonight. But a little bit more about her. She grew up, so her father is also in the medical field. He's a doctor as well. She would often go on these missions. That's what they're called, missions. You go to a different country. You provide aid for the villagers who need certain whatever Band-Aids or ointment or whatever.
Yeah, in high school they had a trip every year to Honduras.
Oh,
And they would go and provide aid and stuff.
that's cool.
So yeah.
Quote, while in college, she volunteered in the soup kitchen and the Center for Women. Anna Lisa was very friendly, and she never thought negatively of others. Her laugh, affectionate cheerfulness lifted us up, especially in sad times. And then the father goes on to say, quote, she was exceptionally gifted with a sharp mind and intellect, end quote. So that is the victim tonight. Very sad, very smart, very smart, successful person slayed by this also very smart and successful person, but just a fucking nut job, right? She played tennis, loved to ski, scuba dive. She was actually certified in scuba diving, which is actually pretty difficult to get.
That's cool.
Her dream was to be a big CEO of a big company, probably a pharmaceutical company. One last quote here from the father. Quote, I suffered through unbearable grief, depression, and agony. So much so that I could not function normally. I continued to have chest pains and needed medication. I started to question my faith in God.
That's sad.
Why this had to happen to us. After all, we were, and he says, we were devoted Christians, end quote. So I don't know, man.
That's sad.
It's very sad.
It's hard. I feel like that's something that happens. I don't want to say regularly, but it's not unheard of. If like something tragic happens, you kind of
Question your faith.
Yeah, some people question their faith.
Yeah, very sad. This right here is the murder scene. So we're going a few months back. We're going to talk about the murder of Anna Lisa Raymundo. This is November 8th, 2002. The police aren't even notified until there's a 911 call. And the operator, and I'll put the call on talkmurder.com, but the operator responds, and it is a woman, Sheila Davallo, obviously claiming to be the neighbor next door to the victim, Anna Lisa Raymundo. And she says that it seems to me, or I could hear a man and a woman arguing. And if you just want to come check it out, I don't know what's going on. I just wanted to report this. She gives several wrong addresses. And then when the operator asks for more information about, what's your name or who are you besides the neighbor, she just hangs up. But if you listen to that 911 call, and they actually did a voice analysis when they finally put the murder on her. They did a voice analysis, and it's the exact same, the frequency waves and stuff. It's her.
Yeah.
So Sheila Davallo is trying to kill off the boyfriend's girlfriend.
But you would think how she is framing that phone call, she's going to get the boyfriend in trouble. Right?
Apparently, the boyfriend didn't know that Sheila killed his girlfriend. And after his girlfriend died, who do you think was the
prime
call
suspect?
No, not the prime suspect. Yeah, but the call to comfort. Oh my God, my girlfriend's dead. I need someone to hold me and coddle me and cuddle me. Who was there?
Sheila,
the killer. But a lot of people think that the boyfriend may have knew about it because when the police asked, because the boyfriend was the prime suspect.
Right.
We're talking about Nelson. Nelson was the prime suspect.
You would think.
But he didn't do it because the Purdue Pharma, obviously, is a fucking huge bajillion-dollar pharmaceutical company. They got the most high-tech freaking clock-in cameras and all kinds of shit available to mankind. They could see his entire day mapped out. He was at the research facility the entire time. He didn't kill his girlfriend. November 8, 2002, that call comes in. A man was assaulting a woman at 123 Harbor View. This is a very nice neighborhood condominium right by the inlet there. A bunch of yachts and boats and all kinds of shit that we can't afford.
Not yet.
Yeah. The call actually came in from a nearby payphone. And I actually looked up the restaurant. I wish I didn't because it made me really hungry. It was the local Duchess Hamburger and Hot Dog Restaurant on Shippen Avenue. So the officer pushes open the door, and there is the victim, Anna Lisa Raymundo. She is dead. There is blood everywhere. You're looking at some of the evidence photos right now. I'll put them on talkmurder.com. Look at all that blood.
Wow. Interesting. There was a paring knife.
Yeah, I was going to
again.
ask if that's the same paring knife.
Yeah, that's kind of an interesting point. I don't know that. I didn't see where that's the same knife. I don't think it would be.
That's just her weapon of choice.
But
I guess.
it may have been. That is a really good point, because as soon as Anna Lisa Raymundo opens the door, hello, she's stabbed in the face.
Oh my gosh,
so
in the
it
face?
is, yeah, because it is an instant. She doesn't even know what's going on, just right there. She there was no real defensive wounds because it happened so quick, and it happened in the front. How do you know if someone was attacked from the front or the back?
The entry wound.
Yeah, the entry wounds are right in the front. There was no exterior wounds. There was nothing, that told the investigators that she was snuck up on. She opened the door and was confronted with a knife in the face. All the wounds that she suffered that we're about to go through were in her face area, which means that is extremely personal right there. That's why they thought it was a boyfriend,
Well, I find it interesting, though, that they didn't think more about the payphone call. It was a neighbor, but it was a payphone down the street.
No, they did.
It was a female.
They did. And you got to keep in mind, that it's not that the cops did a bad job. I mean, this was only 3 months ago. The case was still active.
Yeah.
And plus, so they got DNA, obviously, when, in a lot of cases we cover, this happened. So if you ever decide to kill someone with a knife and it's going to be a struggle, just keep this in mind. A lot of times you actually slip and nick yourself down, your hand passes down the hilt and nicks yourself. And if you nick yourself, then your blood is going to be in the scene. And there's a good quote, I don't know, by one of these investigators I read, but it says something like this. You always enter and leave the crime scene by bringing something in and taking something. So we're talking about what do you call it? Evidence,
like shedding, like DNA shedding?
Trace evidence. We're talking about little trace evidence stuff. Your DNA, whether it's a piece of your hair or a skin cell or whatever, you're always going to leave something at that crime scene. You're always going to take something from that crime scene. Whether if you watch Forensic Files, a lot of these killers get caught because the same carpet, a little strand of carpet, and they do this little analysis of the carpet. Oh, this carpet was made at this manufacturer and this date. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So anyway, keep that in mind. You gotta wear a full fucking bodysuit. All right, November 8th.
Or just don't murder anyone.
November 8th.
Yeah, that too.
November 8th, 2002 is when she is killed. And I'll put the photos on talkmurder.com. Very violent. The officer pushes open the door, sees the victim laying there. Multiple stab wounds from a violent struggle. This was at 11:57. And once they finally caught Sheila, she actually makes a call to you-know-who, Nelson Sessler, right after she kills his girlfriend. Oh. At the fucking house. It's like, yo, what's up, baby? Nah, I'm just standing over your dead girlfriend.
Oh my God.
That's her, man.
She is
fucked,
loco.
dude. No shit. There was blood everywhere, and her blood, she didn't nick herself. There were blood stains on the handle of the bathroom sink, and someone tried to clean it up. I don't know why she would think to even do that. I mean, she's a very smart person. DNA, and let me see.
So she did leave some DNA at the scene.
Yeah, of course. But so they didn't know her DNA at the time, because if you get DNA, you run it. Like, my DNA is not in your fucking database.
Right, because you have not been charged with a crime.
Well, let me take that back. Most people's DNAs are... I'm just kidding. I don't think mine is.
What did they do with our fingerprints? Like, remember when we were younger and the police used to come into school? Yeah. Like, what do they do with that? That was more
they just
for
throw them
missing.
Away, dude.
I think your parents have them. Like, I think my parents, they give them to your parents so that they can put them in a security box.
Oh.
Or you can sell them. That's what I did.
I remember that too. That's so funny.
You never know when you're going to need this, man.
So that if you're ever missing or anything ever happens to you, like they
can
have
give it to the
yeah, they
police.
can give it to
Okay.
the police.
The crime scene, quote, as investigators looked more closely at what they had, it appeared that Anna had been brutally attacked, stabbed repeatedly. There was so much blood and things overturned, end quote. The autopsy, and I'm going to go through this rather quick. She suffered 9 stab wounds to the face, left cheek, neck, and shoulder areas. 9 stab wounds to the face. You hate someone. She hated this woman. She didn't. And Lisa Raymundo, I doubt she even knew who this girl was. But this girl sure as fuck knew who she was, type of thing. You know, and that is very hateful to do that.
Yeah. I'd say.
The fatal wound was actually to the chest. It was inches left to the midline. The knife had a straight entry, struck her left lung, her left pulmonary artery, anterior ribs, and back muscles. Back muscles. They actually thought it was the boyfriend because of that. The back. All right. So she is she's only attacked from the front. Only attacked from the front. But there is a near exit penetration from her back. That is how hard she stabbed while she's on. So Lisa is on the ground. She's been stabbed. You're going to fall on the ground.
Right.
And then you're going to try to flail or whatever. She took that knife and stabbed it so hard through her lung that it almost went out the back.
So it couldn't have been a paring knife then. It had to have been a bigger knife.
Holy shit. That is some force.
That is some force, man. That is some hate you fuck this kind of shit force. That's why they thought it was the boyfriend.
It seems like a man's.
It's like, how could you get it? She with all her might, you know? And it's just because she's jealous or whatever.
Wow.
But it almost came out the back muscles. It says right there, the interior ribs and back muscles.
Damn.
Which means the killer was powerful and strong, which it's got to be the boyfriend, right? But it wasn't because the camera shows him. There was a lot of internal bleeding, and there were some defensive wounds. There were some skin injuries, and even when Anna was on the floor already pretty much gone past her lifespan, she was kicked repeatedly in the face by this woman, Sheila Davallo. Her head, as far as blunt trauma, not the knife. This is her kicking her in the face. 5 blunt trauma attacks to the back of the head. The largest was 3 inches. There were 2 to the left center and 2 to the right center. So she had some fractures. This means that, quote, this is from the police report, bashed her head in at some point, end quote. They use the word bashed her head.
Yikes.
So when you see a medical examiner or a forensic autopsy technician or whatever use words like that, they literally, their anatomical words don't fit. They have to use those words. We've covered a case that was like that before.
Yeah.
It's like bashed. You know what I'm saying? Both of her fingernails of her middle fingers were broken. That was during the struggle. The murder weapon was a 1.5 inch wide blade, 4 to 5 inches long, very thin in width, a boning or a fillet knife. So, yeah, 4 inches went through her whole body. That's fucking hate right there, man. That's jealous hate, dude.
Wow.
It took her 7 minutes to die. From the stab wound to the lung. That was one of the last stabs. So she was stabbed in the face. That last one was in the lung, and it took her 7 minutes to bleed to death, like internally. That's how she died.
Oh, it's awful.
There were no injuries to the back. That's how we know that she opened the door and immediately was confronted. The killer went straight to her. There were things tossed over, so there was a struggle. Quote, the blood had not had time to begin coagulating. Puddles of blood were shiny and wet. Tacky. They used the word tacky. The victim herself appeared to be still bleeding out, end quote. So the police get there. They know it's not the boyfriend, Because even, it's not like he killed her last night and then, you know what I'm saying? Like, she is still bleeding out.
Right.
And the blood is tacky. Like, you know, I guess very thick and
I don't like that
coagulated.
term in this case.
Yeah. That's painting a real gross image.
Ugh.
Yeah, tacky.
Yuck.
Ugh. It's like you, ugh.
Sticky.
Yeah, I mean, it's just bleeding right there on the condo floor. Yeah. Detective Greg Holt said, quote, somebody hated this woman.
That's
end quote.
terrible.
He is a detective, a homicide detective. And he ain't a young guy either. He's seen some things. He says, quote, somebody hated this woman, end quote. That was what he said. That's what,
That's
you
like
know?
the perfect description, yeah.
Yeah. Now, real quick, this has really nothing to do with this case, but this is very interesting. I want to throw this out there so I can remember it in the future. But they know immediately that it wasn't a rapist or a sexual motivated crime because for whatever reason, the detectives said this, that a rapist or a sexually motivated killer would never attack a woman in the face, will never stab in the face, even after death or whatever. If they're, you know,
Interesting.
that is something that they just never see at all.
Very interesting.
At all is a sexually motivated crime and being stabbed in the face or being
that
the
makes
face
sense.
disfigured.
Yeah,
type of thing.
yeah.
Huh, interesting.
I don't know why. It's just that's what they said. Quote, this is from the detective, quote, disfiguring of the face is very characteristic of a female perp, end quote. So y'all fucking crazy ass.
Yep. Jealous.
Anyway, all right, let's obviously she was arrested and we're going to wrap this up, but that's her right here, Sheila Davallo. After the Raymundo death, Sheila sent the grieving boyfriend Nelson Sessler, and I don't actually think I don't think anyone else thinks that he had anything to do with it. You know, I mean, these scientist types, man, they're very aloof. You know what I'm saying? They're just not there, kind of disconnected. They're very smart, but they're just not,
Right.
you know, the common sense shit because they're thinking analytically all day.
Correct.
But I mean, because for instance, the husband, who is also a scientist, had no idea that the mentally challenged brother was not the one coming over. It was the secret boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can't even figure that out, then
Yeah.
So I don't think he had anything to do with it.
But he put it together real quick as soon as he went over. Like he may have had suspicions that Sheila killed his girlfriend.
I think he
and I
did.
think like as soon as he walked in and saw what was going on there, he was like, "Yeah, she definitely did." You know what I mean?
Well, so here's the one thing that the things that the cops believe that he may have had something to do with it, because when they, obviously he's a prime suspect, when they interviewed him multiple times and said, hey, does she have any enemies or have you dated anyone? Who was your last ex-girlfriend's name? Tell us everyone. Sheila was the only one that he had not mentioned at all.
Oh, interesting.
So I don't know why that was, but right after she killed Raymundo, she sent him a care package. Now, so he did love Raymundo, his girlfriend, soon-to-be wife, I'd imagine, and he was breaking off from Sheila, but he's grieving. She sends him a care package, consoled him, and was one of the few people willing to talk to him. Everyone else thought he killed her, and they shunned him. But he was there. In January 2003, they went to a ski event together, and this is going to show you how crazy she is. There was a group ski event, and when he shows up, where's everyone else? Oh, no one else can make it. It's just you and me. So that's how creepy it was.
Like
Fucking
she
creepy.
organized a trip.
Yeah,
just
for
for
the
them.
two. Yeah, right after she,
Oh boy.
murders his girlfriend.
That's not good.
They begin a sexual relationship. A little bit about Sheila before we end this. Intelligent, dark-skinned. I'll put her photo on talkmurder.com. She told people she was Italian or French. She would interchange them. But in fact, she spent 14 years in the Middle East. She's Iranian. And that's where she immigrated from.
Okay.
Iran, not Iran. And she lived in Pleasantville, New York. So, and she was a medical coding and thesaurus administration. She was 32 at the time. I'm sorry. Yeah, she was young.
Oh,
Interesting.
She does not look that young.
She looked older in the other photos.
I mean, this
where
was
she with her
2002, and then the photos here is when. No, I meant that.
No,
I mean,
but
this
even
is-
the
yeah.
photo of when she was with Nielsen, I thought she was older.
Yeah, she.
Or Nelson, sorry.
Did not age, man.
some people are not blessed with.
It could have been.
I mean-
Could have been the stress of knowing that she murdered.
Well, no,
Yeah.
she didn't have any stress, but here I will tell you the stress she had. She was married to a guy out of high school. Now in Iran, well, I shouldn't say that because I've never been to Iran, but some of those countries, arranged marriage is still
It's
a
common,
thing.
yeah.
So that was an arranged marriages. That was an arranged marriage, didn't work, and that I know overseas when I was there, you don't want to be a divorced wife.
Right.
At all.
Right.
Because that basically is a death sentence.
Yeah,
you
you're
know what I'm
never
saying?
going to remarry.
You're never going to remarry. And that is a huge problem. And so she got divorced from the husband. And the parents looked down on that because that's their culture. And after that point, she could not handle rejection. In fact, she was actually married once before the guy she tried to stab with a knife during the sex game. There was another marriage that didn't work.
So
two marriages, and now it's about to be three. But she didn't want that third one to fail. She wanted him to just die.
Yeah.
So it's not her fault, kind of type of shit.
Right. Even though if he died, it was at her hands, which is her fault. But at least she's not being rejected.
Exactly. So she had.
You don't reject me. I reject you.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is what the husband said at the trial. I should have put this in earlier, but quote, had a handicapped brother, a mentally challenged or retarded brother that she took care of, and elderly parents, and those things took up most of her time on the weekends. That's why her husband never saw her, I guess. She was always cheating on him and stuff. Let's end it there. So, what do you guys think? She's in prison for the rest of her life.
So
ain't
she
getting out.
defended herself though, and didn't do herself any favors.
No, she didn't do any favors.
Was it as entertaining as the last self-defense?
She got 25 years for. So she was sitting in prison before they even linked her for the murder.
Because of the attempted murder.
Yeah, so she got 25 years in prison for trying to kill her husband. You know what I'm saying? And then. So they just took their time. She ain't going nowhere. Let's build a case.
Right.
A good fucking case. And they did. And I believe the sentence was something like 60 years. Either way, she's going to be dead. She got to serve them consecutively. So 60 plus 25.
Did she represent herself in both trials?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So. But that's
crazy.
That's Sheila Davallo right there. Hope you guys like that little case.
Yeah.
Confusing as all titties.
No, that's a really interesting, like the love triangle type thing.
Oh, the web she weaved.
Yeah.
All right, but that's all I got for this case. Be sure to tune Skin into the next episode. All right, the next episode is really gruesome, and you guys will like it. It occurs in Poland.
Oh, all right.
So anyway, that is all I got on Sheila Davallo. Go to talkmore.com if you like this. We do live chats every Sunday, and you can join us there. Just become a member, talkmore.com/join to do that. And until next time, good night, you lovely, lovely people.